The story of converts, from the darkness of nightclubs to the light of Islam. Modern life, with its sparkling world of pleasures, offers false happiness. The more you are chased, the more you feel empty. A woman from Louisiana, Nicole Queen, has an experience that can be taken as a lesson that when people return to the path of Islam, their hearts will be more peaceful than before. People out there, like Nicole Queen, know very well how Islam has saved her from the confusion of someone who is looking for the true purpose of life. Here is the story of Nicole's journey to Islam. My name is Nicole Queen. I grew up on the coast of Louisiana until I was about 8 years old. I then moved with my family to a small town south of Dallas, Texas. My family attended a fundamental Baptist church, which built a strong religious foundation within me. My parents weren't very religious. They considered themselves freethinkers. They believed in God, but like most Americans, they didn't really live their lives for God. My grandparents were more religious and instilled in me a strong religious foundation. Then I became an event photographer in Dallas, and most of my work was in nightclubs. My job is very similar to paparazzi, photographing celebrities, athletes, and other famous people while they attend parties. It was a very crazy lifestyle, having to be at parties, doing everything at night, and sleeping most of the day. Not a peaceful lifestyle at all. I feel a lot of emptiness living a life like this, surrounded by greedy people. I was always looking for peace, looking for purpose. People always told me that I had a great life, but I realized that I was surrounded by people who didn't care about the important things. They didn't even know what was going on outside their bubble. Throughout my years working as an event photographer, I have always felt the urge of God within me. I remember how I was always trying to figure out what I was looking for. I have nightmares where I look for something that I can't find. I do know some Muslims who are not very religious. I know Islam a little from friends who don't drink, friends who are a little different. I will ask them why you don't want to go here or there, and they will answer that they don't hang out there. Places like that, because they are Muslim. One evening after a photo shoot, I met my future husband Hassan while visiting some friends. He was going through a period of soul-searching similar to mine. He was born a Muslim but does not practice his religion. When we met, we related to each other's struggles. Hassan talked to me about Islam and suggested that I take classes to learn about the religion. I began to notice that the Muslim people I met had discipline and purpose in their lives. They stand out among others. When I started learning about Islam, I was addicted. I would stay up all night watching YouTube videos about Islam, especially Yusuf Estes. The more I learned about the basics of Islam, the more I felt it was what I needed. I needed something strong to tell me, you have to stop living this crazy life if you want to have more purpose. When I started converting to Islam, it was a long transition. It felt like a roller coaster at the time. It seemed like everything was happening at once. It felt very blurry. Now looking back, I see that I made good transitions and took steps. One of the steps is that I need to know the foundation, the pillars, the basic belief system, and make sure it's something I can believe in. In April 2007, I finally decided to embrace Islam and say the Shahada. My life has changed since then. I wear the hijab now, and I am a member of the American Muslim Society. Islam and Christianity are so close that for me coming to Islam was like a home away from home. These days, my husband Hassan and I, we live a busy life working in the heart of Dallas. YouTube leads Nicole Queen to becoming a Muslim. My friends showed me lectures on YouTube. I then watched and found out everything about Islam. From there, I was addicted to continuing to watch. I stayed in front of the computer watching it until 5 in the morning, said Nicole Queen, a native of Dallas, United States of America. He never thought that a simple YouTube show would lead him to the door of guidance. The woman who works as a photographer was interested and later converted to Islam starting from this broadcast. It has been almost 6 years since Nicole has lived her life as a new person, a Muslim woman. Previously, he was a godson and grew up in the Christian faith. He is also someone who adheres to his religion. The Baptist religion is good. I go to church and I always follow religious guidance, he said. Even though she is religious, Nicole admits that her life is not much different from most young Americans. He drinks, goes to discos, and other American youth habits. Moreover, his profession requires him to continue going to these entertainment places. He is a photographer at a nightclub. Until one day, many questions haunted Nicole. He who regularly worshipped began to question the nature of worship. He began to question the purpose of life and the future. Does heaven really exist? Does hell really exist? If it's true, then what will happen? What will God say when he meets him? These are the questions that haunt Nicole's heart. Starting from these questions in her mind, Nicole felt that something had to change in her life. He felt he needed something for that change. It's just that he doesn't know what he needs. He also expressed his anxiety to his friends. From here, Nicole started opening videos on YouTube. My friends showed lectures on YouTube. I then watched and found out everything about Islam, he said. He started watching a show about the story of American converts to Islam, the journey of American citizens to receive guidance to embrace Islam. Nicole felt that what they felt and experienced was very similar to her life. It seemed like everyone was saying the same thing that I was going through. Everyone felt the same way I did, so I felt like I related to them. They faced challenges and found the answers to what they were looking for. And that's what I want. I want answers, Nicole said. Wanting to get answers to her questions, Nicole continued to watch YouTube shows. He didn't even feel sleepy because he was so enthusiastic. Without realizing it, he watched it all night until 5 in the morning. I became addicted. I kept watching lectures about Americans converting to Islam until 5 in the morning. I wanted answers. I didn't want someone to tell me what I should believe. I just wanted to know why, he said. From the YouTube broadcast, Nicole began to become interested in Islam. Initially, he tried to find out everything about Islam himself, but then he decided to go to the mosque to get what he was looking for. Nicole also got several books and literature from the mosque. He diligently studied it until the decision came to accept the Shahada. Without much doubt, Nicole was determined to embrace Islam. He also prayed at the mosque. After embracing Islam, Nicole completely changed her life for the better. He left all his activities with friends. He also left his job as a photographer in a nightclub. He also changed all his clothes into Muslim clothing. When I said the Shahada, I never looked back. I changed everything in my life, friends, clothes, work, everything. I changed immediately, and it wasn't difficult because I knew it was all the right thing to do. I am grateful to Allah because of Islam, said Nicole with a radiant face. All these changes were known to the mother. Initially, Nicole was considered not serious about her choice to convert to Islam, until Nicole's choice to wear the hijab and leave everything haram made her mother change her mind. However, this does not cause problems. The mother saw positive changes in her daughter, so she did not forbid it. He saw my life changing, me dressing differently, leaving haram things behind, and he realized that I was closer to Allah. That made him happy. You know, if it brings me closer to God, then he feels happy about that, said Nicole. Not only the mother, her friends were also surprised by Nicole's change. He no longer goes to nightclubs, no more drinking, even willing to leave his job. But Nicole is always open with her friends. He told what happened to him, told his journey, until he finally got guidance. Actively writing blogs. Nicole then created a personal blog chronicling her journey to Islam. In this blog, Nicole also tells the story of the changes that occurred after taking the Shahada. Not a few of her friends who read Nicole's blog were amazed by Nicole's choice of path. When I wrote about my new life, they felt, wow, he keeps changing his life, but we are still doing the same thing. So my friends understood. They respected the decisions I made, Nicole said. Apparently, the blog he created was not only read by his friends. Many visitors to her blog were then touched by what Nicole wrote. Nicole so beautifully tells the story of the changes in her life, which became very good after converting to Islam. They read the changes in my life, how I was before, Muslim, and after. Many girls do the same bad habits as me before. Then they read my blog, and they comment that they cried when they read it. They wrote comments that my writing touched their hearts and made them think about making changes too, said Nicole happily. Every convert to Islam always faces challenges after converting to Islam. Likewise, with Nicole. She, who was so happy after converting to Islam, faced the fact that the hijab she wore prevented her from getting a job. So many job interviews failed because she wore the hijab. However, he did not then become sad and despair. He is optimistic about his abilities. I showed that I have the skills and experience. So far, I haven't really had any problems regarding this, thank God, said Nicole enthusiastically. Apart from work, he is often reprimanded by many people when he goes out on the city streets. With a typical American face, Nicole surprised many people with her hijab. When I go around town, people stop me and ask, "Are you a Muslim?" They were stunned, because I was an American. But I just answered lightly, "Yes, I'm Muslim." I also told them the reason I became a Muslim, and that made them think, "Wow." Nicole concluded her story, which can be watched on YouTube.